on to Vancouver with the brakeman. The brakeman and the one car would stay always at Douglas Road to Vancouver. That's Sprott Station. It's one of the interchanges on the 401 freeway is Sprott. Heading now towards Burnaby Lake Station, which was the old Sperling Avenue. Actually, Sperling Avenue is not cut through there anymore. There's a big Burnaby Fire Station there on Sperling, just off of Douglas Road. Here he comes around the bend, heading towards Sperling Avenue and Burnaby Lake Station. Oh, he didn't stop at Burnaby Lake. He said, boy, he's really wound up. He's going to go right around there to Rayside. That's the little trestle, that little creek that he just went over is the creek that drains Deer Lake into Burnaby Lake. And there's Rayside. Used to rent, there was a horse farm here. They used to rent riding horses, and they'd take the trail along the side of the tracks and ride almost around Burnaby Lake. The next station is Vorse. Pretty lonely country out there, but that's right. The freeway is almost on top of the interurban there now. Just past Vorse. There's the meat down there. You'll see him in the shadows. That's the meat, and he'll go back. He'll go to Vancouver, and that's Hill Station. We're carrying on to Sapperton. Cumberland Road is the next station. It's just down the foot of Cumberland Road. Where up the hill is the George Darby Hospital. You can't drive down there anymore. But at one time you could drive right down to Cumberland Road Station. And he rides around through the bushes there, around a couple of curves. And we'll get to Stormont Curve here pretty quick. It was quite a little sharp grade, sharp turn, and a fairly good little grade around there. You had to get a hold of it coming around there. You'd dump half your passengers. There's Stormont Curve coming up. Just around the curve is Stormont Station. And a whistle board on the white sign on the post there with the SX on it. That S is for station and X is for crossing. You're supposed to blow the whistle when you see that. Now, we're not far out of Sapperton, the end of the line now. We got to go over Caribou Road at Caribou Road Station. You can hardly find the right-of-way through here now. It's all growing up. There's Caribou Road Station. That board with the right-angle sign on it is the stop board. It's facing the motorman, though. He has to stop because there's a BC Electric bus line comes down there. The Lockdale bus comes down Caribou Road Hill. From Westminster Depot to Boundary and Hastings it went. Now he winds around the side of the hill, which is still pretty well bushed down there, although on the high side of the hill they are clearing out and putting in new homes. One little station here is called the Golf Club, kind of an interesting thing. I didn't know for years why they called it Golf Club, but in about 1910, the members of the Vancouver Golf Club on Austin Road asked the BC Electric to put the station in, and they used to have a horse and wagon would come and pick the golfers up from Golf Club Station and take them up with the horses and wagon up to the Vancouver Golf Club on Austin Road. Later on, a few years later, they had an old McLaughlin Buick that used to haul them up. Now we can see the car barns at Sapperton around the bend, and that's the end of the line, which at one time the line went right along Columbia Street in front of the penitentiary, right down Columbia, down through town to the depot at 8th Street and Columbia. But when they put the buses in 1937, this is the end of the line. The conductor will go in that little booth and phone the dispatcher and get clearance to head back to Vancouver. In a moment, you'll see the motorman get out there out the back door and change the trolley pole. There he is. Well, that's the end of the Burnaby Lake, but oh, it looks like we're going to go right on the Central Park line now. Let's see, oh my goodness, we're down here on Columbia Street, right at 8th and Columbia by the old tram depot. That fancy lamp stand is right in front of the CPR depot. That's the Chilliwack baggage car coming over in the morning. He's going to turn right into the depot, into track 3. Now, there's the Central Park pulling out with the pair of St. Louis, pulling out of track 1. That's the Westminster Trust building in the background. Still looks as good today as it did then. He's right out in the middle of Columbia Street, and then he goes down past the front of the market, over 10th Street. In a moment, we'll get a shot of the car barns in New Westminster there. That's where they built a lot of them. Most of these cars were built in New Westminster, right in those shops. This is a big Coolman car. There was 3 of them bought. You can tell by the round windows. That was a pair of St. Louis there, with the square windows. This is all Stewartson Way now. And this is 14th Street Station, right opposite Alaska Pine. The SkyTrain guideway is right above this spot. We had a stop at 12th Street Junction, 3rd Avenue, 14th Street, 16th Street, 6th Avenue, Meade, and Elsona. And now the SkyTrain leaves Westminster and goes straight to 22nd Street, which is about Elsona, with no stops. Climbing up the hill. This is right alongside of Stewartson Way. Now we've crossed 6th Avenue or Marine Drive, and we're heading to 20th Street, which was Meade Station. Here's a big pair of Coolmans coming down, heading towards New Westminster. There's Elsona. Now we're going around the bend to Connaught Hill Station. Just beyond Connaught Hill now is used to be the old gravel pit, but now it is where the car barns and repair shops for the SkyTrain are. That's Connaught Hill Station right at 10th Avenue. The old spur you see is where they used to get the gravel guns out of get the gravel out of the gravel pit. And that big clear space is now where the SkyTrain car barns are, taking up the whole area. the whistle board